Well, welcome back to the garage. So, what's been kind of awaited for? It's finally here. We're gonna start doing something with the CR125X, as we call it. Now, let's get into kind of what this thing is. So, this is a CR125 molded with a 1983 Honda 200X. Essentially, this whole cradle portion is all 125. Neck and everything down is 200X. Power plant, obviously, we're going with is a 125. So today our main plan is to actually finish up the lower end of the engine. A long time ago when I put this thing together, the cylinder actually needs sent off and gone through nickel-sealed, whatever they call it. And I need to take off this side cover, replace the clutch basket, and there's actually a linkage or an arm over in here that needs replaced as well. That helps control the power valve. I think that's what it originally took out this entire lower end, was the gears on there. Somehow got destroyed. I don't know. I bought this thing used from a bike that was complete junk. So let's go ahead and get into that. Maybe we can even see how this thing fits in the frame. Because as you can tell, this frame still has multiple coats of paint on it. That's why it looks terrible. Because this thing's got probably 15 coats of paint on it. Anyways, then we can try to get the top end off, torn apart, so I can get it sent out and really get the ball rolling on this thing. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So I decided to start test fitting the engine prior to taking the top end completely off and getting that sent off. So I want to make sure everything was going to clear first. We're not in where we need to be yet, but obviously the exhaust is going to be pretty good, which it should be on this factory lower end for the CR. Now here's where we're running into issues is. We need to go down and probably back just a touch. See, we're not quite there. Currently our shifter's hitting, which that's kind of actually the least of our issues, sadly. It's over here is where the problems really lie. So I don't mind buggering up stuff down there. Is our kicker's currently touching this piece, which isn't a huge issue either, because I don't remember what these do. So I can lop that guy off. And downside is we get to here. This piece is touching here. Now this does have to go forward a little, but also still rotate down. So I would hope once I'd get this lopped off that maybe I could finagle it into place. Maybe this would come up to here. Because this is going to be the chain tensioning system on this. Now, theoretically, if I have to cut that out, I might as well find a liquid cooled or a 350X or a later model 200X type swing arm where the adjustability is in the back and make that one solid piece. Good and bad side about this already is that I've already found a new swing arm bolt. Now this is not for a 200X. This is for, I think, a Kawasaki Samurai 600, I believe. I'm going to be modifying that to make it work for this, which is where this guy's not going to be. I can't use this if I go that route as well. But currently we have to make the engine work. It's kind of now we're falling into issues. So I think the next step going forward is going to be pull the engine out, lop this puppy off, see kind of what we can do from there. Like I said, cutting this off, making it a perfect circle, that is an option if I can find a swing arm that will work. That might be a little more difficult, but I am happy to say, at least looking at it from how it's sitting right now, even though the chain is, off this angle, looking at the old chain roller, we're pretty close. Like I said, the engine does need to turn this way a little bit still. Lining that up, that's pretty good. I know I did have to take off the factory chain slide off this, the 200X side of it, but I think maybe it can go back on once we're all said and done. So I guess I'll have to get this thing out, we'll lop this guy off, and we'll see where we go from there. Well, I've only got one bolt and a screwdriver shoved in currently. This bolt goes right on through and bolted up. Screwdriver comes out this end. And I'm happy I lopped this off because it would have needed cut off regardless. We just barely clear there. We clear down here. We clear everywhere. But the shifter's touching this one little piece that's still sticking up. You can't really see it that well, but it is right there. But yeah, other than that, we're clear everywhere. So I can get the grinder back out, clearing all that up. It's a little bit of a bugger to get into place, but overall I'm pretty happy with stuff. I'm a little worried why the engine looks like it's cocked this way, but everything's loose. Obviously there's just a screwdriver holding that in. But to be honest, I don't know how true this frame is either. But yeah, engine's mocked up, engine's in. I guess I can get it back out, tear the side apart, get a new clutch basket put in, get the top end off. I need to put a new power valve thing down here in. And I also noticed this is cracked while assembling. So I need to look and see, do I have something not connected correctly, or was that cracked before? So I do know when I was doing stuff before too, I noticed once I was almost together, this piece back here had been broken off a long time ago. So more than likely, that's going to get JB welded with some kind of cap on it. Cross our fingers that works. Yeah, I'm looking to a new side cover on this guy. So yeah, let's keep going on it. So we're going to work on getting this engine pulled out now, even though I know I just put it in. We're going to talk on it. So the timeline on this thing has been drastically skewed. Primarily because, well, I have to make better financial choices for a little while. Don't worry, well, I was a screwdriver. And I say that primarily because I'm going to be one of the people who is adding to the population this year. And I know that's why somebody might say, why don't you just spend the $500 to redo this top end? Well, that's part of it. Time. That's why I'm uploading videos every 2 weeks now instead of every week like I normally would. Because time's getting more difficult to get, partially because of that. I'm not going to stop uploading, but it's kind of part of the reason I'm not spending the $600 right now, because it's not the smart thing to do, sadly. I'd love to do it. Actually, I was planning on it, and so I just had something else happen, and, well, current plan is get all the stuff disassembled, finish the lower, put it back in the tote, probably finish the TRX70, get floor pans in the truck after replacing the clutch slave. I think that's what it is. I haven't actually looked at to see what's leaking. And then hopefully see where we're at, get back on this. Because I'm trying to not dump a bunch of money into a bunch of projects all at once. I know somebody might say, well, hey, dummy, you're working on a truck out there. You've already dumped money into junk. Well, here's the thing. That top end, probably getting a new head, is going to cost close to what I paid for that truck. And the engine was only $100, so not very deep into that. Actually, I spent more on the gasket set for that truck, engine gasket set, than I did for the engine. So that's kind of why we're taking our time with this. I'd like to get a swing arm, get this thing actually being a rolling chassis, probably prior to getting this sent off. The original hopes and plans were to get this thing sent off, make this thing a rolling chassis. When I get it back, put it together, break in the engine. Life isn't going to let that one happen. I mean, like I said, I could make it happen, but it's a silly thing to hurry with. I got the rest of my life to finish this. I hope it doesn't take that long. But kind of want to make sure everyone is aware of kind of what the tentative schedule for this thing's going to be. Because it's not going to be as quick as I'd like for it to be either. But, hey, that's fine. We got time. But I know I got the triple. I think I've got some off of 350X. I'm pretty sure I've got the shocks off of 350X. Front forks, I should say, not shocks. Then all I got to do is get a 200X swinger, build the swing arm bolt. I've got all kinds of hubs and tires, or if I decide to go card axle because it's cheaper, we can go that route as well. Anyway, that's enough talking. Figured I'd catch people up to speed who made it this far into this. Let's go ahead and get this thing torn apart. So if my memory is serving me correctly, I took off all 4 bolts that go onto the cylinder, and I'm thinking you take off this side cover. Somebody out there is going to know a lot more than me, and they're going to say I'm wrong, and that's okay. And I never even hooked that up. And this thing should just come right off. Unless it's hooked up. Oh no, there's a nut right there. That's what it is. I'm actually really happy I put that nut in there so I didn't lose it, but yeah, that's how the cylinder comes off. So there's a, I don't know what that gasket's for, but it's gone now. There's a piece down in here that actually has to So I'm trying to work and think. The piece down in there, that is what shredded everything in the lower end. I'll show it to you once we get into it. My theory is what actually destroyed this lower end. I'm pretty sure this guy just comes out. Is this, there you can see it. That guy's missing some teeth. I think that's what ultimately did destroy this lower end originally before I got it. I think the kid I got it from didn't know anything, but not saying I do. I think I knew more than that kid. And the first time I ever took this thing apart, I broke that off. That's pretty much all we're going to end up replacing today. Ooh, that looks real nice. Huh. So maybe I'm not the one that cracked that. I don't know, it's cracked over here, isn't it? Yeah, actually, right where that thing broke. So, okay, so that wasn't me then that cracked that. That's really good to know. Sorry for the hiccup there. But, yeah, that's less than neat. Also, I did look this part up. This part is, we're zoomed in. This part's about $120 that I'm not going to spend, so JB Weld is going to be the fix. We'll see how well it works. If nothing else at the end of it, I know there's an issue. I know exactly what the issue is. I'll deal with the consequences. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this stuff done, I guess. So what you can tell I'm happy I knew I was coming back to this is I got everything out, and this was just finger tight, and the metal pieces were not hit back to where they're supposed to be to make sure this thing never turns. Thanks, past me. But yeah, as long as this thing, a washer, is a washer. Those are them sneaky ones you gotta wash out for. So as long as this thing comes off, someone might be able to tell me, is that Hinson billet racing clutch? Is that another sneaky washer? Is that a factory thing, or did somebody put something nice in this thing once? Now let's hope this guy's the same. It looks about the same, so just go ahead and plop that thing on there. But yeah, I kind of need 2 hands probably for this one, so I can finish getting everything reinstalled on here. But this one's pretty easy. I gotta look up what the torque specs are, get the torque in, put this weird guy back in, put the clutch back together, and this part is done. Well, good news, bad news. Good news is this guy's all put back together. Everything seems to be right. Bad news is I can't find this piece. I know I purchased one. I know it is somewhere. The downside here is I bought it 6 or 8 months ago. I left it in the envelope itself, which was not real big, which means it could have gotten tossed. Who knows? So this won't be done today. I'm going to continue to look for it and see if maybe I can find something, but maybe able to buy another one. I really hope not, because these things are like 60 to 80 bucks, I think. I think the one I found was actually fairly cheap, but what are you going to do? Kind of got to have it before I can put this bottom end together. So, yeah, guess I'm going to go try to find that. So sadly, I ended up having to buy a new one of these. I got it installed there, though. You just take a screw out. That one's pretty easy. But you can see now, if it'll focus, it doesn't want to focus. It's even unfocused. You can see how bad this thing was. And this is what I ultimately think led to the demise of this engine. Those two are both pretty bad too. Focus, darn it. That doesn't want to. But regardless, you can see the teeth are bad. At least a few of those. And that's what I think got the metal on the lower end of this engine. That's what I think ultimately killed it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the side cover back on. And I'm not sure where we're gonna go from there. We'll see. Alright, so the lower end's all back together and everything should function properly for what all's been done to it. I said earlier I do need to JB weld that spot and another spot back here. That's how I'm at least going to fix it for the time being. For anybody wanting critique, running those in with the impact, I went through and torqued them after the fact. So, yeah, lower end is done. I'll probably throw this guy back together so I don't lose anything for the time being. We really can't get back around to this till I get that sent off. I was hoping to do it sooner than later, but some other stuff happened, so I'm not sure when exactly that's going to happen at the moment, but it's going to get there. And whenever we start getting more parts for this thing, you know, for the swing arm and the triple, and I get tires and wheels, stuff like that, then we'll start moving along on the frame again. I'd imagine that that will probably all be done before that ever gets back. So I do think we might go ahead and just cut it off here, just because, I mean, I can keep doing little things here and there, but I don't think it'd be anything to make a video over. Probably once I get some parts for the rear end and the triples and the front forks. Then we'll probably hop back on this, but until then, like I said before, we're probably going to get back on the truck, finish up the TRX70, just kind of see how things go. Like I said, hoping to get that thing sent off soon. I'm also trying not to burn a bunch of money, so that's the hard part, the money part. Sending it I can do tomorrow, but yeah, it'll all work out. So thanks for watching. You want to see more of this? Let me know, actually. Watch other videos and tell me. But yeah, thanks for watching. Till the next one.